Yeah, I can hear you. Okay. Okay.
Vandami Siado, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. May I have Siado's permission to start the talk?
Okay, you can start.
Good evening, everyone. Good morning for everyone in the Western Hemisphere. Welcome to the lesson number 70 on Visuddhimagga, Patisambhidamagga, and commentaries. I am Brother Yu Chung. I am the meeting co-host who will be helping Siado and everyone in today's session. May we invite Siado to start the teaching, and may we invite the interpreter Bantes to start the translation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu. Okay, now we will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Today we are going to talk about Adinavanyana. Under the name of Adinavanyana, there are many things to say. Among the topic in Adinavanyana, especially knowledge of danger. It doesn't mean we are really in danger, right? But we are just feeling or experiencing some nature of ultimate reality as a fear. So Adinavanyana, this insight see the danger in following aspects. The Obada, arising of formations due to past karma. So this is also very clear already. So we can say arising formation due to past karma. Although we say very simply, it also can be any types of mentalities or materialities. So if we see the arising of formation as danger, this is Adinavanyana. So another thing is we also have to know safety. As we have danger, we also have safety, right? So at the center, we can also understand no arising of formation is safety. So we have to know both positive and negative. If there's a danger, there must be safety. We have to understand both, although it just mentioned Adinavanyana, right? Just mention knowledge of danger, but it also means we have to know both danger and then safety. And similarly, Pavada, continuous arising of formation. That's why Obada, especially in the case of Obada, it also can be only a receptive aggregate because it's caused by past karma. It can be Kamacharupas, also receptive consciousness and associated mental factors. In the case of Bhavada, it can be any Namarubas, after rebirth, before we dead, we call Bhavati. All types of formations, continuously arising and perishing. All these are called Bhavada. Nimitta, a sign of formations, taken as substantial. Okay, although we say as a substantial, but there can be many other meanings. I already mentioned about nimitta before. So in this highest jnana, we can say higher jnana or mature jnana, nimitta means actually rupa kalapas, they are also called nimitta, right? Then there's a form, there's a shape, we can also say nimitta. Anyway, here in the case of nimitta, sign of formation. Sign of formation means rupa kalapas and anything. When I do that, this is called nimitta. You have the karma leading to future rebirths. Then again, Bodhisattva, future rebirth linking. So these 5 were mentioned in the first stanza. We can also say these 5 are the first part we have to know. Because if we continue the next slideshow, most of them will have relationship. That means these 5, all the remaining will be covered by these 5. Okay, for example, here Gati. So Gati is a 5 destination of birds. Okay, we can also understand destination, 5 destination. Then we have already, we have already said before, Deva Gati, Devarams, divine destination, Manusa Gati, human destination. Then Niraya Gati, hell destination. Peda Gati, ghost or ever hungry ghost destination. Tirichana, animal destination. Actually, although we say Gati, this is also similar to Pavada. Okay, we already skipped previous one, right? Pavada means any formations in the lifetime of the rebirth. Again, we have Nipati, arising of new aggregates. So we have already mentioned before, right? Nipati also means arising. This is also similar to Obada, according to previous group. Obada means the arising of formation due to birth karma, right? So this is also one of the things we have to know. The arising of aggregate means this is it, right? Obada. Then again, Upapati, arising of results. Actually, this is also similar to Pavada. We have mentioned before. Then Jatimi, birds. So this is the Jati also similar to Obada again. That's when they are related. So about Jara, aging. Then we also have remaining part. We have to move next one. The next 5. After Jara, we have the next 5. Okay, Bhayati, illness, Marana, death, Soka, sorrow, Pridhiva, lamentation, Ubayasa, despair. All these things start from Jara, Bhayati, Marana, Soka, Pridhiva, Ubayasa. They are synonym of nimitta. That's why I have already started when explaining nimitta, right? Nimitta also means particles or something. But here we are, nimitta also means Jara, Bhayati, Marana, Soka, Pridhiva. These are similar to, right, nimitta, right? So it's okay. Let me, altogether there are 15 different types of words, but they have relationship. Okay, the main thing is, if we see any of these as danger, that means the arising of all these things as danger, no arising as safety. When one see danger in these, the mind inclined towards Nibbana. Okay, one more thing here. So sometimes we may see as a danger, but our mind may not incline to Nibbana. Right? So that means that knowledge is not strong yet. If we have seen any of these 15 as a danger, arising of all these 15 as a danger, our mind will incline to Nibbana. Similarly, opposite one, safety. No arising of these 15 as a safety. If we can see it, our mind will incline to Nibbana. So here we have two different things. Okay, if we say easier way, positive and negative. Danger and safety. So when seeing danger, our mind inclined to Nibbana. When seeing safety, our mind will incline to Nibbana, both. This is the nature of Adinavajnana, the knowledge of danger. Actually, there are many similes mentioned in this part. Today, we have to talk about the next one, simile of these existence. So that means the first one, 3 realms of existence are like 3 pips of burning embers. Okay, this is a simile. So here we should say, what is the 3 realms of existence? It can be sensual realms, material realms, immaterial realms. These 3 will be like 3 bits of burning embers. That means if charcoal are burning, if we touch, it will be very hot, right? It can damage our body organs if we touch it. So that means we can see 3 realms of existence as a burning ember. This is also one of the simile. Okay, from number 2, the next one we also mentioned, the 4 elements are like 4 venomous snakes. Okay, one more thing here, right? From that part on, we can find similar things in one sutta in Samyutta Nikaya. In Pali, we call Asivisopama Sutta. That means very cooked or very dangerous poison, venomous poison. This is called Asivisopama Sutta. Okay, now I should elaborate according to the sutta here. So there's also, Buddha also mentioned, right? The bhikkhu, suppose there are 4 deadly venomous snakes. Then if you touch, if they bite, you can quickly die. So then the king or authorized person or powerful person may ask a man to take care of the snake. You must bath them, feed them, also let them sleep. That if you neglect them, you will be in danger. Then you may have terrible suffering. It will cause your death or very terrible suffering. Then the man cannot reject it. Cannot reject because it's forced by authorized person or powerful person. So he also know, right? I should release from them. So maybe he may take care partly, maybe, right? When he neglect them, they will chase them. Okay, now according to the sutta, he neglected them. Then he ran away. So when he ran away, because this also this is very terrifying by this, or frightened by 4 snakes, he ran away. So 4 snakes are like 4 elements. They are different snakes, right? Okay, if we say a little bit clearer, if we have some excessive elements, we feel discomfort. For example, if too hot, Our body heat also too hot, right? Also not very well. Too cold also not very well. This is the 5 elements, right? Similarly, any other elements, if any of elements become excessive, it becomes very terrible. We have to suffer for it. We can get sick. That is why we can also say 4 elements are like snakes, venomous snakes. Okay, according to previous sutta, the man run away. So when he run away, then the authorized person sent 5 murderers with raised swords. So 4 snakes also following him, 5 murderers also following him. Then the one who wished to make him beneficial, or who just think about his benefit, you remind him, friends, now you are chased by 4 snakes. Also, 5 murderers. Please run quickly. He may run because more enemies now. So, okay, actually, in this slide we don't mention, but according to Ātī Sutta, it mentions extra things there. So when he ran, then there's also one of the an internal spy, also with the raised sword, ready to behead him. Okay, if we say 6 spy, internal spy means his very close friends. Close friends become enemies, right? Now he will follow. That means if our close friend betray us, more painful and more dangerous, right? So now here again, in this sutta, it also mentioned the last one, 6 enemy. That one is close friends, an internal spy. We also follow him with raised swords. He is ready to behead him. Then there's also one of the men who just think about his welfare, remind him, my friend, now you have one more enemies. This internet spy, you are close friends. He is also following you with the raised sword. He will behead you. Then he ran away again. So after that, in the slide you also mentioned, right? The 6 internal bases are like 6 ruined village. So 6 ruined village means the rich is empty, spoiled already. So whatever house he enter, no food, nothing to eat, no clothes. You cannot get anything except in shelter. So this is an abandoned village. Many housing, no more, nobody, no desirable properties. Then when he run away, he may catch village, right? Destroying village, or we can say ruined village. So we consider like a deserted village, maybe, right? Then all the empty house, nothing. That's why he's looking here and there. One of the friends think about his welfare, remind him, friends, don't waste your time in the village. Then there will be many other murderers are approaching. Then they are coming to the village. They are approaching to plunder or destroy this village. Beware. Then he fled again. He ran away again. Then in the slideshow, as I mentioned, the 6 internal senses, external senses, sense objects are like this village destroying bandits. Actually, here we should talk about bandits, right? We can also say robber or anything. So they are going to enter the village. Okay, now we can summarize the simile. Sit internet business village already, right? We have eyes, ear, nose, tongue, body, and the mind. These are internal. So when we have internal object, there will be external one. For eyes, there will be colorful, beautiful, that kind of objects. For sound, also nice sound, beautiful sound, that kind of thing, right? Because of all sense bases, sense objects appear. Then they also call destroying bandage. They were destroying the village. The village is also actually empty already, but they're still destroying. So in the eye of meditators, for example, when we see eye translucency, also we may know materialities in the eyes, then this is just only ultimate reality, right? That means no substantial in it. So if we see that one as empty, you can also say sunyata, right? I have already mentioned sunyata, emptiness. Then, of course, the external one, destroying. Although there's enjoyment then because it impedes to internal door, there's enjoyment. But if we can know ultimate realities very clearly, we don't feel enjoyment. And this is also called destroying village. So then if we have enjoyment, destroying village. If we don't enjoy, of course, no bandits will enter. So sometimes we are following color, sound, smell, taste, and tangible objects. And that means we are opening the door, welcoming bandits to enter to our house or our village. Okay, this is one of the example. Okay, we have to talk about the next one. The 7 sensations of consciousness and 9 abode of beings are like hawks on fire with 11 fires. Okay, before going to this part, I should finish Āsivasambhava Sutta, right? So all the previous statements are from Āsivasambhava Sutta because of 5 similar things. So, okay, if we say simply, so the men ran away from 4 snakes, also 5 enemies, also 1 internal spines, also bandits. He's running away. Although he ran away, there is also big river or big ocean ahead. So if we can remain, if it didn't cross over, for example, right? He's in danger. So if we go over, or if we cross over the river or ocean, then another shore, another is safe, also peaceful. Another thing, there's no boat, no bridge. That's why he had to think about how to do, now what to do, right? That is why he had to make ruts, quality bamboo, wood, and all the material. After making a rut, he crossed over the river or ocean by his own hand and feet. This is the example, right? Okay, here, making a rut means Noble Eightfold Path. You can already know Noble Eightfold Path. I don't need to explain that one, right? So that means he just crossed over the ocean or the river by his own hands, his own feet. That means this is the exertion of energy. After crossing over, he may reach the far shore. This is also attaining arhat, free from danger, safety place. Okay, now the last sentence has mentioned the seven sensation of consciousness. Seven sensation of consciousness, vijnana titi. Later we have to explain the one. Nine abode of beings. Later we have to explain the one. Like the house on fire with 11 fires. So you may have already known the meaning of 11 fires according to Buddha teaching. I think if you have already read Fire Sermon, you may know the one. Right? For example, Lobha, Dosa, Moha, right? Also we have like a Jadi, Jaramarana, all the things, right? These are called fire. If we say briefly the 5 minutes, and Jadi, Jaramarana, Sogaprideva, all these are fires. So it will burn the 7 stations of consciousness or 9 abode of beings. So this is the call Arinavanyana. When our minds just knowing all the things as mentioned in the list now, right? The 3 realms as the existence of 3 bits of burning embers. 4 elements are like 4 venomous snakes. The 5 aggregates are like 5 murderers with raised swords. The 6 internal sense bases are like ruined villages. The 6 external sense objects are like 6 village destroying bandits. The 7 stations of consciousness and 9 abode of beings are like hogs on fire with 11 fires. So if we can see all this kind of thing like that, this is also called Arinavanyana. So there are also many other sources, many other things we can know. Then we also have to use another simile here. The next one. So all sankharas, conditioned things appears like an abscess filled with pus. That means if we have some blister in our body, filled with pus, right? So we can, in our mind, it will appear all the sankharas are like abscess filled with pus. This is also how we feel or how we experience in our mind. Similarly, another one, like a cleaning. I also mentioned chronic disease. This is also, you can also chronic disease in a long time, right? We cannot cure easily. Long time sickness. Of course, in the case of sankhara, we have already suffered long time in the samsara. It's like chronic disease already. We're gonna change it. We're gonna cure it. Okay, this is just an example. So in Buddha teaching, to remove or to make all the sankhara finish or disappear, we have the way to do, right? This is the practicing the wayful path. So like a painful thorns lodged deep in the flesh. Maybe in some very rich country, you may not have that kind of experiences very easily. But like in poor country, or maybe like in the village or some workplace, this is the normal. Even in power is a normal, right? So any thorn can touch our body. So one more thing, if the thorn just scratch our skin, we also feel pain, right? But if we just go in very deep inside the flesh, it's more painful. Here I just mentioned, like a painful thorn locked deep in the flesh, not scratching skin, right? Deep in the flesh, very much painful. Also like something shameful or impure. So that means this all the sankhara are something shameful. Also, they are impure. So for about impurity, we have already mentioned before in Asava meditation, or Dalita Bodhipa meditation. For about shameful also, we have already talked about Dalita Bodhipa actually, especially when we talk about repulsive, right? You may remember that one. If we don't cover our body, this is the shameful. We have to cover with the clothes, right? It's very shameful. And like a burning fever. Okay, this one's very clear already. I don't need to explain. So they are perceived as utterly lacking delight, devoid of flavor, and entirely burdensome, representing great danger and fault. That means in our perception, in our mind, we may perceive all the things. This is also the nature of Adinavajnana. So again, we also have another simile. Okay, I should clarify this before moving to the next simile, right? So actually, in this higher level of knowledge, Gangajnana, Adinavajnana, we also have another one, Bhayajnana also, right? All the knowledge, it just mentions simile. It doesn't mention how to practice. So we must be very careful with that one, right? That means all the practices are similar to previous one. That's why it doesn't mention any specific way of discernment. So we already mentioned how to practice in Bhangajnana. We already mentioned Samba in Bhayajnana, right? And Adinavajnana, it doesn't mention how to practice. It just mentions how it appears, how you will feel in your mind. Okay, that means when you are going to read Bali text or commentary or something, we just say step by step, right? Practice. It doesn't mention in new chapter or maybe the next level. The practice will be the same, but different experiences. We can understand like that, right? Okay, now, to a man who desired to live happily, like a well-decorated forest may be terrifying if tigers roam there. Of course, this is very clear already, right? So we need safety. We also like safety, security. So to secure our life everywhere, when we are traveling or going to anywhere, or living in anywhere, working in anywhere, we need safety, although we make ourselves secure. If we don't have a secure, if we don't feel safe or secure, we will not feel happy. We may have some fear in our mind. So here you can also understand if tiger roam there, tiger get going around in the forest, then he will not go to that kind of forest. Although it's very beautiful, right? Very nice. Also good scenery. But if we go there, it's very dangerous. So that means we also want to enjoy scenery, but we also have to be scared of tiger. We don't feel safe. If you feel safe, this is okay. We can go there, right? Another thing is that a glittering caves becomes fearful if a lion is inside. Also the same, right? Very clear. I don't need to explain that one. A peaceful looking pond becomes dangerous if a crocodile or demons dwelt on it. It's very clear already. I don't need to explain that one. So the means become dreadful if laced with poison. So that means if we add poison into the meal, although it's really very delicious food, then we are not safe. The road become perilous if robbers lurk there. This is also very clear already. So if we say briefly in all these simile, right? Mostly animals and people, right? Robbers mean people, right? Living beings. They also mention unliving and poison. This is unliving, non-living things. These are the simile. So if we want to be happy, we have to avoid all the things. Actually, there are a few more examples in the next one, the next slide. A house becomes unsafe if consumed by fire. If if there's a house consumed by fire, we should not enter into that kind of house. We are unsafe. Then battlefield becomes terrifying if fire's enemies are engaged in war. So that means in the battlefield, we don't want to live. We are not safe. So now if that man finds himself in such places, he is naturally terrified. His hair stands on end, and his entire awareness is gripped by fear of danger. That our mind will incline to danger. We may have extra alert. This is also just an example. It doesn't mention how to practice. Okay, now we have to move the next one. Nibbida-jnana. The knowledge of disenchantment. So this is also very simple explanation. It also mentions how we feel disenchantment. So that means they are the object of disenchantment, right? As previously explained, the yogi who perceive all conditioned phenomena sankhara as full of thoughts and danger, when observing all sankhara present in three existence, bhava, the four kinds of births, yoni, also five destination, gati, seven planes of consciousness, vijnana, titi. Previously, we just use seven stages of consciousness, also the same, right? Nine abode of beings, saddhavasa. So these are the sankhara dhamma, divided into different groups. That means which arise and cease moment by moment, are constantly perishing, develops disenchantment, nibbana. He becomes disgusted, dispassionate, and utterly weary of all of them. There is no satisfaction, no sense of joy and delight in any of them. This is also just example, right? So that means we may not have any happiness or any delight in this kind of things. As we already mentioned fear before, there are many different types of fear, right? In the case of fear also, we have many other explanations. And now here we just talk about disenchantment. So that means we have special object of disenchantment, as mentioned in the list now in the slide. Okay, actually, I have to elaborate a few more things about all these explanation. For example, 9 gati, also 3 existence. Okay, I should say we should explain 3 existence first, right? 3 existence means we only mention kama, rupa, arupa, sensual realms, material realms, immaterial realms. 4 kinds of births This also already mentioned before. 4 kinds of birth means we have simultaneous birth, simultaneous born, egg born, right? Mother born, the one born. These are called yoni. So 5 destination, gati. Actually, even in this Dhamma talk, today Dhamma talk, I have already mentioned the one before. Deva, divine beings, or Deva Gati, divine destination. Manusa Gati, human destination. Then Nidya Gati, animal destination. Then Peta Gati, that means ever hungry ghost, or hungry ghost destination. Then Gati, this is animals, right? So, okay, if we summarize human, divines, hell, animals, and ghosts, these are called 5 gatis. So if we live in this kind of gatis, that means we are not by the saved also, right? That means we are not free from samsara, not yet saved. But the main thing is, when we talk about the next one, 7 planes of consciousness, vijnana titi. Oh, I forgot to put all the thing into the slide. That's why. Okay. Oh yeah, this one I didn't mention in the sure I didn't mention in the list in the slides. Okay. Maybe I should explain now. Okay. It will take a little bit longer. We have different we can say satta vasa. That means we may have many other explanations, especially about living beings. So we may have different types of living beings. For example, different boats. We also have different types of rebelling in consciousness, different shape of body, right? This is also called, we call the Nanata Kaya, Nanata Sanyi. Okay, we should say one by one. Okay, when we say Satta Vasa, we have the, like a Ekata Kaya, Ekata Sanyi, Nanata Kaya, Nanata Sanyi, like this. There are different types of, we can say different conditions of living beings in the world. So if we say briefly, we may have Sattavasa. Sattavasa means okay. No, it doesn't mention in the slide, sorry. So that means okay, the Nanata Kaya, Nanata Sanyi. Nanata Sanyi means different. I should list out, right? By myself. It doesn't mention in the slide. Okay. We have a number 1, Nanata Kaya, Nanata Sanyi. Beings with different body because of the different aggregates or different body, right? Or the different perceptions. Kaya means body, Sanya means perception, the different body, different perceptions. So here in this case, we have to understand human beings. We can also say animals, ghosts, devas. We have different ranks, different bodies. Another thing is that if we say different perceptions, we have to know a few words. This means patisambhidamagga. Different patisambhidamagga. For example, as a human being, we may have human Purisanimi, it can be Kamachara, right? Mahavagachita, also can be Santirana, Ahidugachita. For animal also, it can be Ahidugachita, hell, Ahidugachita, ghost, Ahidugachita. That's why we have different body, different types of Purisanti. That is called Nanadasanyi. Nanadakaya Ekadasanyi, this is also one of the things we have to know. So Nanadakaya Ekadasanyi also means we have to we may have a different body. Then we may have similar perception. Ekadasanyi means similar or the same perceptions. I think this one's we have already explained before, maybe previous Dhamma talk, maybe, right? I think I already mentioned previous Dhamma talk, maybe this one. That's one I didn't mention here, maybe. Not yet. Okay. That one, right? Okay. That's fine. I didn't mention here. Okay. Anyway, now we have already mentioned the one before. Different body means they may have, right, different body, different aggregates. That means that they have the same perception. The same perception means the first jhana. That means they have the jhana Purisanti. Very simple, right? Another one is Ekata Kaya Nanadasanyi. So that means the same body, but different perceptions. Because of the same aggregate, different perception also, right? So in this case, we should talk about Brahmas, right? So that means, for example, in the case of second Brahma words, then they may have many different conditions. For example, we have already mentioned Vitakana Vichara. So we can say 5 format that and 4 format that. There are some meditator, they cannot remove Vitaka Vichara together. They will remove one by one. That's why if they have to remove one by one, second jhana will be Vichara, Piti, Sukha, Ekagata, 4 jhana factors. That's why the Abhisani will be the same. Again, if somebody can remove Vitaka Vichara together, their jhana factor will be Piti, Sukha, Ekagata. At the same time, we also understand the Abhisani, the result of that karma, it will be the same. Okay, the main thing is, if we have second jhana, then they may have different Purisanti mind moment, different Purisanti consciousness. That's what we call different perceptions. What about Ekata Gaya? Right? Ekata Sanyi. Okay, that would be higher Brahmas, a subject Asanyasata. They have the same one, right? So for our Arba Brahma, it's very clear. So they are called, as we have mentioned, existence. Oh, what happened? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, luckily.
Theodore, we shared the
So
slide from last week on the Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's I cannot see. Okay. So we already mentioned that one before, right? Okay. Anyway, we have to move. We should say 7, right? Actually, in the case of 9 abode of Sadavasa, actually 9 abode of Sadavasa include also Vajnana Titi, right? 7 stations of consciousness. Okay. The main thing is, in the case of Adinavanyana, our mind will incline to all these kind of things as a disenchantment, right? So you can also summarize all the things. Okay, we can go to today's slide. Okay. Actually, all the things are about the life. You can imagine all the things are about the life. Different lives. Right? For example, bhava, material realms, immaterial realms, sensual realms. There's also life. Similarly, 4 kinds of rebirths, yoni. This is also beginning of the life. Because it's different life. High destination, the same. This is also life. 7 plane of consciousness, 9 order of beings, also life. That means we have human life, deva lives, animal lives, or any kind of lives. If we feel life as disenchantment, then this is also called Nibbidanyana. If we don't have kind of things, this is called improvement, right? Okay, now we have to move next one. Nibbidanyana, next one. Simile. So in this stage is explained through simile, such as a golden sun prefer take of Himawanda to a pond near outskirts village. So that means we may have different preference, right? We may prefer better one to low, that means inferior one. Okay, now you are golden swan preferring the 7 legs and of Himawanda. That means big legs, isolated area. Having the pond, small pond near the outskirts of village, of course crowded, not very clean, not isolated, right? So this is also one of the things. We may feel this body, this life as a pond near an outskirt village. Then a lion preferring the Himawanda forest to a golden cage. So you may have seen, right, animal in their cage. Of course, if you have like a cat or dog in your house, you may have a special place for them, right? You may have a cage for them, especially when I see many people carrying their pets when traveling. But in Asia, it's very rare. But in like a US, right, they carry dog with special carriage with the cage. Anyway, the main thing is here we just talk about lion. This is very big animal, very big animal. That's why we say lion, right? We can also say powerful animal. So preferring Himawanda forest to a golden cage. A flying white elephant preferring Charanda Lake to the city. So these simply illustrate how meditator becomes disenchanted with all formations and inclined toward Nibbana. So this is the thing we have to know. Disenchantment, although we have disenchantment or we become disenchanted, if our mind does not incline to it, it's not real. So you may remember previous one, Adinavanyana. Not only Adinava, not only seeing danger, our mind also inclined to Nibbana. Not only seeing the safety, our mind also inclined to Nibbana. So that means we have 2 different conditions. According to previous knowledge, seeing as a danger, mind inclined to Nibbana. Seeing safety, the mind inclined to Nibbana. But here, in the case of Nibbidanyana, disenchanted, mind inclined to Nibbana. This is similar thing, right? So in the next slide, we have already mentioned something about 3. So the text notes that Bhaya-jnana, the knowledge of fear, Arinava-jnana, the knowledge of danger, Nibbida-jnana, the knowledge of disenchantment, are essentially the same insights at the different stage of development. So that means we had the same practice, a different development. Even last week, question and answer, I've already mentioned, after Bhanga-jnana, within one sitting also can be after Sankarupaka-jnana, Anuloma-jnana. It depends on how strong, how mature our inside knowledge. So this is also a gradual improvement of inside knowledges. The inside knowledge also called Nibbida-nupassana-jnana. Share the same essential meaning, Dhamma body, for the 2 preceding insights. So that means, although we mentioned 3, but the practice will be the same. But different types of experiencing, different understanding, that anyway our mind will incline to Nibbana. That is the nature of Nibbida-jnana. Okay, now we have to move the next one about example, okay? Even a single insight known as the Bhaya-dupatthana-jnana, knowledge of fearful objects, receive 3 destinations. It is called Bhaya-dupatthana-jnana because it sees all conditions, phenomena as fearful danger. And here we can say fearful danger. So when we say fearful danger, it can be many explanations. That means it can have many explanations. So we may have many different, for example, in the Bhaya, fearful, also we already mentioned how fear arises, right? It's not like a fear of tiger or something. Just fear of nama rupas, they are arising or something, right? So if we say fearful, it's because of constant arising and perishing. Yeah, in this case, we should talk about only perishing stage, very rapid perishing stage. It is also called Arinava-jnana, Arinava-nupassana-jnana, because it's revealed and exposes the faults and expenditures in those same phenomena. We already mentioned what kind of phenomena we see as Arinava danger. As for example, today we have already mentioned Ubada, Bhavada, etc., right? All the things as faults. Similarly, it is also called Nibbida-nupassana-jnana because it arises with disenchantment towards those very phenomena. That's why we have already mentioned the same practice. But we may have different feeling, different experiences. Okay, now we have the last part today. Mojjhitukkamyata-jnana. The knowledge of desiring for deliverance. The next one. Mojjhitukkamyata-jnana. The knowledge of desire for deliverance. So this also mentions many similes. But we can also find some practice in this part, in this chapter. But today I just talk about the explanations of, not explanation, the simile of all these Mojjhitukkamyata-jnana. Actually, if we study in the text, it will mention many things in detail about this Mojjhitukkamyata-jnana. There's also some special practice in it. Okay, if we say easier way, in this Mojjhitukkamyata-jnana, not only the simile, but also mention how to practice, what to practice. There's also additional practice we can say, right? We already mentioned the same practice in 3, but now we have different practice again here. That means We can also understand many others explanation. We can also understand how to practice, especially when we talk about modern method. There's also about 5 aggregate method. Okay. Here in this state illustrates with the similes of being desiring escape from dangerous situation. A fish caught in a net. Very clear. That means they don't want to be in the net, right? They want to be free. That means similarly, a frog in the snake's mouth. That means a frog is caught by a snake. He will be released from the mouth of the snake. A chicken in the cage. Although they also need freedom, right? Similarly, the deer caught in a snare. Then snakes in the hand of snake charmer. Snake charmer. They want to release, right? Now the elephant tank in the swamp. That means big swamp, then he cannot move anymore, right? He will be released from this. A naga in the mouth of a Garuda birds. This is also very clear. A moon in a Rahu's mouth. And this means, according to Asian understanding, when we say, I don't know how to call this one, right? Sometimes the moon is not, although it's the time to appear, it does not appear, right? In this kind of case, people say this in the Rahu mouth. A man surrounded by enemies. This one is very clear. So these simile represent how Madhita desire liberation from the realms of existence and formation. So that means when we are in danger, we are very urgent to run away or to escape from it. This is also normal. That is why if we are going to practice to release from all types of suffering, then we also need to practice different ways. So today, we don't have many other informations. So next week, we have to talk about, sorry. Oh, so next month, next week we have to talk about Paṭisamphidamagga, sorry. It doesn't mention any practice, sorry. In the Paṭisamphidamagga, it mentioned many different types of practice. Also mentioned 5 aggregate method there again. It will be different from previous one. We already mentioned 40 toe. I will not repeat 40 toe. I have to add new things. I just add only new things according to Visuddhimagga and Paṭisamphidamagga. Okay, I will stop here. May you all be able to practice the 3 trainings, and may you all be able to realize final cessation and no suffering.
Thank you, Sayadaw. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay.
Sayadaw, may we proceed with the Q&A now?
Okay, we can do it.
Sayadaw, we will read the questions sent in by the participants.
Okay.
Question 1. Vandami Sayadaw. How does a meditator know that these knowledges already arise in their mind? Do these knowledges arise one after another? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. So we have to talk about this, right? Of course, they will arise one after another. It depends on their parami and how strong their mind or how strong their wisdom. They give me different conditions, right? Okay. Then you may have already known many stories. At the end of a stanza, they tell you about the increasing knowledge, right? Let's say they will arise all the knowledge one after another. Their process are very fast. That's what they cannot experience. Okay, I should say easier example. Now we have one meditation teacher in one state, right? One meditation teacher is a little bit few was senior to me. Anyway, the main thing is he come from Bako, and also he lived in Pau, I don't know how many years. He can also speak Hmong very well. Also, he's also Dhammacharya. When he practiced, he didn't know he see the nimitta. Then one day when he reported to Pausiyaro, he said, I just see something like a cotton wool around above the nose, between the eyebrow and nose, right? Then around this area, I can see a kind of cotton wool, like a wave or something. He didn't know there's a nimitta. Okay, one more thing. When you read Pausiyaro Dhamma talks or Pausiyaro books, you may have already know Parikamma nimitta, gray or smoky or something, right? But in his case, he has never seen that kind of color. He starts seeing only white. It doesn't mean he didn't see Parikamma nimitta totally. He have seen that process become very fast. He couldn't recognize. He just know only the higher state, right? But we can say Ugha nimitta. So that kind of thing also can happen. But the main thing is, if we say the order of practice, it will arise one after another. Actually, I have already mentioned many times about the order, right? The order of practice, the order of arising, or the order of bhumi existence or something, right? You may have already known that one, the order of discourse. Anyway, the main thing is here, the order of practice. They will arise one after another without missing, right? Okay.
Next question. Vandami Siado, Bhayanyana, Adinavanyana, and Nibbidanyana represent the same insight, but with different intensities. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sure. Sure, okay. This is the same, sure. Okay. And next one?
Yeah, this is the next
This is
one.
okay. This is okay, right? Okay, next. Okay, next one. Okay, this one is right.
Should be question 2, I think. Question 2.
No, question 2 is okay. Okay.
Can we go back
3,
to
okay. Mm. Mhm. 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 Okay. Mhm. 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 Okay, now one more thing, right? In your report also mentioned she see the light very bright, so she could not sleep at night also, right? That means mostly she use her eye to see the light. Then this is also one of the problem. If you can see the light or the nimitta with mind is much better. That means the mind should not incline to the eyes or anything. They're trying to focus on the breath or on the nimitta. I mean, as long as you could see the breath, don't think about the light or nimitta or anything. When nimitta become very bright and very stable, then the breath will disappear naturally. The mind will naturally go to the nimitta. Then at the time, the mind will absorb on it gradually. Okay, it should be simple. Don't think about checking jhana factors or anything. This is good enough for her bottoming, right? So anyway, your duty is good enough now because you can guide your mother to meditate.
Question 4. Why are Asura beings not considered a realm of existence? Are they included in the Deva realm? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, Asura can be both Deva Asura and Beta Asura, right? So if the Deva Asura, they will be equal to Deva realms. If they are Beta Asura, they will be equal to Beta realms. Okay.
Are there any more questions?
Actually, one more thing, Asura means there's a living being. Asura Kaya means, we can say, okay, one more thing, right? If we say Kaya, it doesn't mean the body. Be careful. If we say Kaya, for example, Deva Kaya, right? That means a group of, Kaya also can call group, be careful. Sometimes, group of Devas. We're going to say Deva runs as a Deva Kaya. Okay, I will recite one stanza for clarifying. You may know about Anahabindika, his friend, right? Okay, there's mention, right? But Buddha Sanangata said, sorry, Deva Kayam Paribodhisanti at the end. Okay, I should recite first stanza. 𝐴 Buddha Sanangata said, Na de Kamisanti Abaya Bume, Pahaya Manusandeha, Deva Kayam Paribodhisanti, Deva Kayam. Be careful this one, right? In this case, Deva Kaya means divine realms, Deva realms. It doesn't mean divine bodies, right? Similarly, Asura Kaya also can be Asura's body, also can be Asura realms. It depends on context. Okay? Next one.
Any more questions? Dear Sayadaw, I think there's no more questions. Shall we proceed to
Okay.
close today's session?
Okay, we can do it.
Sadhu, 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 Sayadaw. Thank you very much for your teachings today. And thank you, our interpreter Bantes, for the translation. May we invite Sayadaw to lead us in making aspirations and sharing of merits.
Idavadaja amehi sambadam bunya sambadam sabbe deva numodandu sabbe buddha numodandu sabbe saddha numodandu sabba sambati siriya idame nyatinam hodu sukhita hondu nyadayo idame nyatinam hodu Sukhita hondu nyadayo, idame nyatinam hodu. Sukhita hondu nyadayo, idame bunyam. Asawakaya waham hodu, idame bunyam. Nibbanasa pachayo hodu. Mama bunya bhagam savasadana pajemi te sabe me samam. Punya Bhagam Lavandu Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu.
Thank you, Sayadaw, and everyone for your time and participation. Till we meet again next Saturday, may all be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu
sadhu.
Sadhu Sadhu.